He heard voices. That's killer Simon Cartwright's explanation for murders he didn't commit. They were perpetrated by the Ugly. This psychological thriller by New Zealander Scott Reynolds remains criminally out of print in the States. So grab a shovel, because it's time to raise the dead. The Ugly follows Rebecca Hobbs as criminal psychologist Karen Schumaker as she attempts to evaluate the serial killer. Played by Paolo Rotondo, Simon requests Karen to assess his mental fitness for trial. Highly publicized and somewhat controversial, Karen previously got another killer off the hook. She attempts to use Simon's trust to get him to admit the true motive behind his murders. But who's using whom? And what is real? Those questions persist as Karen explores Simon's backstory. In flashbacks, we learn that he was abused by an unstable, codependent mother. She stunted his academic development to prevent him from reading his father's letters that explain his desire to gain custody and provide Simon with a better life. As a result of his underdevelopment, simple Simon is bullied by his classmates. Things look up after a classmate comforts him. Julie is the first person to show Simon kindness, and this leads to a mutual case of puppy love. His mom, however, feels threatened and forbids Simon from seeing Julie. This is apparently where the Ugly arrived. The juxtaposition of a facial injury and the story of the Ugly Duckling, a book his bullies destroyed, the Ugly is Simon's alter ego, one of heightened aggression that prompted him to kill his mother. Simon was institutionalized in the aftermath. After 5 years, an adult Simon was declared cured and released back into the world to resume killing. The Ugly was reawakened by the Visitors. Through their discussions, Karen comes to understand that the Visitors are an increasing group of corpses comprised of Simon's victims. This is where elements of supernatural horror creep in. Simon admits that the Visitors badger him to kill to the point he must give in. That's when Dr. Marlowe steps in. Played by Roy Ward, Marlowe is an eccentric asylum administrator who served as Simon's psychologist since capture. He brings their first session to an abrupt end, warning Karen not to let Simon get in her head. He previously deceived Marlowe with a similar fairy story and viciously attacked an orderly when given the chance. That evening, however, it seems Simon's already gotten in her head. That or he has psychic powers. In their next session, Karen forces Simon to recall his reunion with Julie. In a chance encounter, Simon meets up with adult Julie and begins following her. He's devastated when it appears that she has a boyfriend. Simon kills the man only to discover that he was her brother. In a perverse turn of events, Simon begins dating Julie, resulting in true happiness. Sadly, it's short-lived as the Visitors call upon the Ugly to kill her, which he does. Karen, however, calls bullshit on the Visitors and baits an unrestrained Simon into attacking her. During the attack, however, Karen appears to see the Visitors. Karen later writes a report while Simon escapes the asylum. Simon then appears in her bedroom and attacks Karen in what first appears to be a nightmare. When she goes back to sleep, a gash suddenly appears on Karen's throat, with Simon standing by as the credits roll on a conclusion open to debate. For his feature debut, writer-director Reynolds takes a serial killer narrative and dresses it with horror tropes. That is, if there truly are supernatural elements. Are the Visitors real, or just a clever invention by a disturbed mind? One developed to concoct a plausible insanity defense for someone who first admitted that he killed for fun. The gore of the killings is depicted as viscous black instead of red. Maybe he saw his victims as less than human. Maybe he has a split personality. Maybe he's psychic with the ability to hear the restless dead, making the Visitors an actual supernatural force. Those maybes invite multiple viewings if you can find a copy of The Ugly, as it currently appears to be unavailable for legitimate streaming. Maybe you can locate a domestic DVD on the secondary market. Just follow those voices in your head, unless they compel you to kill, of course. Like these films? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications for future episodes.